Have you ever shown up to work in the morning and something that you needed to get done wasn't done? Or maybe you go to your weekly management meeting and the things that you asked to be done aren't done, or somewhere the process fell apart. Well, the reason for that might be you don't have clear roles and responsibilities. So today we're going to teach you the RACI Matrix. It's a really easy document for helping you define what the roles and responsibilities are for every task and every process, so that your company can be more successful. And we're going to do that right now. Okay, so what is a RACI matrix? It's a matrix for clarifying the roles and responsibilities within a process. Sometimes it's within a project, but basically any work that you're doing as a business, you can use a RACI to define who is supposed to do what so that no balls get dropped and there's no gaps. Let me tell you a little story here. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was asked to do it. Everybody was sure somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anyone could have done. Does that sound a little familiar? If so, we have a solution. This is an example of what a RACI matrix looks like. It's very simple. On the left-hand side, you have a bunch of tasks or functions or jobs that need to be done. And on the right-hand side in the columns, you have the roles or the people that are supposed to do that job. Okay? Then within the matrix, you're simply connecting the job that needs to be done with the person that's going to do it. So you have a couple of letters to choose from. The R is the responsible person. This is the doer, who's going to do the actual job or make the decision. In fact, a lot of times I like to have my decision points on the left-hand side in that column where it says function task, because it's often the decisions that need to be made that nobody knows who's responsible for making that decision. Therefore, the decision doesn't get made, or if it does get made, somebody gets upset because they thought they were going to be involved and they weren't, right? So if you are the person doing the task, you can put an R next to that person or their role, right? So if I'm the vice president of manufacturing, right, I'm responsible for putting up the weekly, throughput numbers. Great. I get an R next to my name there. Now, typically you only have one R. There's usually one person that's doing the job, right? In some rare occasions I've seen where there's more than one, but usually it's just one R. Same thing with the A. The A is the approver, who approves the work and gives it the green light, says, yep, this was done correctly, or authorizes the work and says, yeah, this is the work that should be done. That person gets an A next to their name or role. Now, the R and the A are often the same person. Like, for example, when I'm vice president of manufacturing, right, I am often the one doing the work and approving my own work. So it's okay if the R and the A are the same person. That happens all the time. Now, when it comes to consulting and informing, there's usually multiple people that are involved in consulting, being consulted or informed on the decision. So let's say, I'm running the factory and I decide that I want to change the layout of the process. Obviously, this should be part of a bigger project, but just as an example, I'm going to make that change. So I'm the one responsible for that change. I'm also the one who's going to approve, authorize that change. So I get the R and the A next to my name. However, I need to make sure that I'm involving everybody in my factory, right? My supervisors, my team leads, all the way down to every single operator out there. Make sure that they're informed of the changes that are going to be made and that I'm consulting with many of them to make sure we make the changes correctly. The great thing about the RACI matrix is it removes any confusion about who is supposed to do what, and if something does or does not get done, we can clearly see where that responsibility fell. Now, again, we don't ever want to create a blame culture where we're going after people and saying, you did this wrong, right? This is simply to bring clarity. I have seen so many processes where if they just defined who was responsible, it would eliminate so much confusion. That cloud of confusion just disappears, and you can start getting work done more crisply and cleanly and on time. So it's a fantastic tool. Now, on the next page here, this is an example, and you can find this in your DMAIC tools spreadsheet that you get as part of this course. So go to your DMAIC tools spreadsheet and you're going to see something that looks like, let me pull it up for you guys. Here we go. So in the DMAIC tools spreadsheet, you'll see the RACI matrix. And again, it has the instructions at the top just to fill out the table with the roles across the top in that first row number 11 here. Down on the left, you're going to fill out every decision point or process step or task that needs to be done. Again, I use decision points a lot in my RACI matrix. And then put the R, A, I, and C. You can see right here, I've got an R and an A together. That's pretty typical. Sometimes you don't. Again, doesn't matter. Just make the tool work for you. Publish the tool, train people to the tool, make sure everybody in the process is familiar with where they fall in the RACI. Now, a lot of times, you use this during a Lean Six Sigma project, during a continuous improvement project. When you get to the improve phase of a DMAIC, for example, or the doing phase of a plan, do, check, act, you need to know in the new process that you're designing who's going to do what. And the RACI Matrix is a fantastic tool to start using right then in that phase of the project. So that's it. That's a RACI Matrix. World's fastest training on that. Again, it's not that complicated. So, pull up your spreadsheet, fill it out, get your team together, just do it. It's going to have a big impact on how well your process works.